What's up guys, it's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity build a video. Today we're going to be talking about technical difficulties, a couple of different ones, but one of the main ones we're going to talk about is why is SimCity not working with Wi-Fi or mobile data. And I'm going to tell you the experience that I've had with it and what I was able to do to fix it, but I cannot promise you that it's going to fix whatever issues that you have going on, okay? But I just want you to know you're not the only one out there dealing with it. So, before we begin, hit the like, hit the subscribe button. I have a Patreon if you're interested. The link is down below. We also have a Facebook page and a Discord. Those links are down below as well. All right, so jumping right on into this. I had a comment go up yesterday that said, I don't know why I can't get online on SimCity. It will make my game force close anytime I turn on the connection. It's starting this morning, 10/10/2022, and still didn't find the solution. I'm not sure what those numbers mean, because that's certainly not the date. So I'm not sure what that means. Anyway, I tried to reset data and reinstall it, but it still does not work. Okay, so this is what this person's experiencing, or what I've experienced is similar to this person. Is what I think they're talking about. So what happens is you have a cell phone or a tablet or whatever. Usually it's a cell phone, and in my experience, it was a Moto G Stylus. I want to say 2. I don't know if they're no. It was the Moto G Stylus 4, I think. I don't think there even is a 2. It was the 4, and I had bought it brand new. It was like $200-300, and it had some major issues with loading my city in particular. Now I have videos up where I was dealing with it and I was showing you guys what was going on. That's a little bit separate than this. It wasn't an internet issue, it was a connecting my city issue. So I went out, I got a different phone. That one worked okay. A couple months down the road, I'm setting up a feeder city on a tablet, and I realized, wait a minute here. Every time I turn on the data, it doesn't work. It only works on Wi-Fi. So I'm dinking around with the settings, and I'm typing, this stuff into Google search, and I'm finding that there's other people dealing with this. I had mentioned it in my group chat, and one of my members in my group mentioned that she was dealing with that as well on her phone, and that when she was at home, she would turn the Wi-Fi on, and she would not be able to play her game on Wi-Fi. That she could only play it on mobile data. Every time she turned the Wi-Fi on, the game would crash, or it wouldn't crash. It would just say that you don't have an internet connection. So a logical person, even if you're not a technician, okay, because I'm certainly no technician, but a logical person would think that there's something wrong with the connection to the Wi-Fi, right? So the first thing you're going to check is make sure that your other apps are working. Make sure that like what I did was I turned the mobile data off on my phone. And to do that, you just drag the toolbar down, and you'll see mobile data arrows up and down. You just click that button off, and you click the Wi-Fi on. Then you go to YouTube, you go to Amazon, you go wherever, and you make sure that you actually have an internet connection. In all of our cases, we all had an internet connection with our other apps. But for some reason, SimCity just wasn't working. Okay, so then what she did was she tested it out, because it was kind of a couple of day thing where we tried several different options. We went through her phone settings. There was nothing in there that was restricting that app in particular to not, for some reason not use Wi-Fi or whatever. There was nothing blocking it. It should have worked, right? So we were in the process of testing something again, but this time she was at work, and it worked on Wi-Fi while she was at her work, but it didn't work on Wi-Fi when she was at home. So then I thought, okay, well, this is kind of crazy, but maybe there's something with your router or your internet that for whatever reason is blocking. It didn't make sense. Even that didn't make sense, because all of her other apps worked, right? So at this point, I'm at a loss, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So what she does is she takes a different device, it was a tablet, and she installs her game on a different device. And the different device worked with Wi-Fi and it worked with data. Okay? So it appeared as though it was the device, not the game itself. So at this point, you're asking yourself, okay, what is with this? What is it in the settings somewhere that is making this device not work? So she factory reset the phone and it did not fix it. Now, I was able to factory reset the phone for my issue. It did not fix it. Somebody else factory reset their phone and it did fix it. So at this point, I take my phone into Geek Squad and tell them everything I've tried, and I'm like telling them, logically, think about, just give me any logical direction to go in. What would be causing this? And they're, at a loss for words as well. So I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of fucked up, that you buy a phone and then you just can't play this game on Wi-Fi, which is it sucks, because this game does take up a lot of mobile data. So for people dealing with that, it's kind of a big issue. Not, some people were able to fix it with clearing the app and reinstalling it. Some people were able to fix it by connecting a different city. Try that as well. Now, that would suck that you wouldn't be able to use your city, but try to rule out all of the possibilities and narrow in on the problem itself. Is it just your city, or is it the app itself? Make sure you've saved your city, of course, but try wiping the app and using the tutorial and see if it works with that. See if it continues to work. See if it works with Wi-Fi outside of your house. See if resetting your router will work. See if there's something in your phone setting that's limiting your... No, that wouldn't make sense. Well, if it's the other way around. If it's only working on Wi-Fi and not mobile data, then see if there's something limiting that. Go through the SimCity settings. See if there's anything in there at all. Contact EA, which I don't think will be much help for you guys, but try. See if there's anything that they can suggest. Don't count on them to do much of anything, but you could try. It's always worth a try. And if you have any luck at all, or you have any information that you can give me, let me know. It is frustrating to deal with by far. It certainly is. Now, I'm going to tell you guys another story with this game. It's crazy. It's similar to what he's dealing with. Let me read his comics. I actually haven't read that. If my guess is right, the problem is about my Android version because I have trying to reinstall the game in a different way, like download it from Play Store, tap, and from browsers, and nothing work. So what you're saying is... You're trying to reinstall the game and it won't reinstall. So what I would do if I was you, in your case, I would wipe the phone. Just factory reset the phone and start fresh. There may be something in there, virus, whatever, that you've got from doing who knows what, I don't know, downloads. Or, it would depend on why it's not installing. What is the phone saying? What is it doing? Is it... sometimes what will happen when the phone doesn't install games is if you go to your Play Store and you click updates, sometimes what happens is people have the updates automatically on, or they clicked update all, and then they spin and they don't actually update until you get Wi-Fi. So anything that you try to install after is not going to install until all those updates have installed, and none of those updates are going to install until you have Wi-Fi, or they just get froze. So maybe you have your Wi-Fi on, but the updates are just frozen. So go through, make sure you have no active updates, click X on every single one of them. If you do, close the Play Store, go back and hit install, and it should work, okay? That's something that's happened to me several times. So just check that. Now, if that doesn't work, I would factory reset the phone because, you know, you may have just some weird thing going on with it. Make sure that there's no software update for the phone. That's another thing. And then come back to me and let me know what happened. Now, the story I'm going to tell you guys, and there's some videos on my channel from like 2 years ago when this happened. I had bought that Stylo 4, and I would play it, and it would work fine, and all that. But then the moment that I connected MissyCity, the game would play, right? As long as I had the game open. So I play through the tutorial, I log into my Facebook, I log in, I connect MissyCity, all is fine. I'm playing the game on MissyCity. And then all of a sudden, you know, let's say I'm done playing the game, so I close the game. I go to reopen the game, and the game crashes on startup every time. It does this blink thing, and then it crashes. Now, I deal with this continuously. Then I leave my house, and I go to the store, the phone store, to show the people, like, hey, dude, what's going on here? And it starts up, and it plays when I'm not at home. Now, I thought, okay, that's a little bit weird, because when I was at home, I wasn't on Wi-Fi either. It was still my mobile data. But for some reason, when I was in certain locations, every time I was in that location, it would start up and it would work. I would leave that location, and it would not work. It made absolutely no sense to me. So then I'm like, all right. People are saying, well, maybe the phone just can't run it. Well, that cannot be, because the phone that I had before, first off, it is running it. It's running the game just fine. This phone game does not require much system requirements. Secondly, this phone is brand freaking new. It has specifications that are, the specs on it are way better than the phone that I had previous to it. I wouldn't have bought a worse phone, right? Third, we have tons of people who play the game with this device. And it seemed to be, at first it seemed to be something with the app in itself, but then it was like, okay, the app is working though, you know, and it's playing other cities. So I thought maybe it's my save is corrupt. So I tried, you know, recalibrating my save data, where I opened my city up with 2 devices, and then it says, you know, would you like to restore your previous save or whatever? You try to sync up your save. So I did that, and I forced it to sync up, and still didn't work. And I'm like, okay, well, what ended up happening is I ended up having to junk the phone. There was nothing I could do to fix it. I ended up getting another new phone. I ended up giving that phone to a friend of mine, and it didn't go to complete waste because it was like a $300 phone. So I bought a new phone. Now, this is the problem, though. When you go to the phone store and you buy a new phone, like Metro PCS, you can't return it. So if I spend another $300 on a phone and it doesn't work, that's going to be kind of a problem. See what I'm saying? So I decided to go to Amazon and buy a phone, because you can at least return them when you buy them off Amazon. So I bought an unlocked Moto phone, and since I've switched over to Motorola, I haven't had any issues at all, and I've had several different Motorola phones. I've never had any problems. They run great so far. Anytime I had LG or you know, like the stylos, all the stylos were a pain in the ass. No, that's not true. I had one Motorola phone that did not work. It was the Moto G stylus, I think, and it did the same thing that the other phone did. It crashed on startup. And I thought, oh, fuck, here we go again, you know. And so now I'm kind of hesitant about buying certain Motorola phones, but I buy them from Amazon for that reason. So if you guys are dealing with any weird technical glitches, try what I said, try reinstalling the game, of course. Try that first. Then try wiping the phone. Uh, Try any system updates. Contacting EA, not that that'll be much help. Uh, See if your city works on other, devices. Uh, See if the game runs with other cities instead. If it's actually the game or if it's just the game connected to your city specifically. If you have money, you can take it to a technician. I'd be interested to see what an actual real technician has to say about it because I cannot come up with a logical solution for that. And there are, wait, no, there was one thing with the Stylo 4 that was interesting. And this is what kind of had me wondering about the Moto. I completely forgot this happened. So with the Stylo 4, it had a really badass screen on it. It was like kind of longer and it just looked really good compared to the phone that I had. Now, as many of you guys know, when you play the game, if you have feeders and you play on multiple different devices, one thing that you'll notice is that every time you play on a different device, the resolution is different, right? Like sometimes you'll open up the game and it'll be super zoomed in, okay? And then other times, it's actually zoomed out a little bit. So what I noticed with the Stylo 4 was it was a little bit more zoomed out than my other phone. And I actually liked it because I could see more of the chat. And when I took screenshots of my contest to mayor's list, I actually saw, more assignments than I did on my other phone where I only saw like 3. I could zoom out a lot further, and that helped me tremendously with design. So one of the things that I came across after digging really deep in the internet world was to try to change the resolution of the game because it was blinking, like it would just blink and then crash. And not all phones allow you to do that, but this phone did. So I changed the resolution on it, and it was super duper duper small. But it worked. Every time it started up, it would boot up and it would work. And I thought, that is the strangest thing. Why would the resolution have anything to do with it just crashing on startup? It didn't make sense to me. And so that's I couldn't play it that way though because the chat was so zoomed out, you guys. It was like barely even readable. It was ridiculous. So, not all phones allow you to change the resolution. I don't know if that is, something that you can deal with doing that. I have not heard of anybody having these issues on PC. PC has a lot more settings and leeway when it comes to modifications and specifications and stuff. So I wouldn't imagine that PC would have near as many issues as mobile because they don't have near as many restrictions as we do and they use emulators and stuff. But if you're using a mobile device, try changing the resolution because you may be in a situation where your resolution doesn't look so bad. Mine was already zoomed out. And another thing you can try is downloading like a game app. Like there's these game boosting apps. One thing that somebody said to try was changing your VPN. See if that helps. Like for example, if you're in a situation where your game is booting up with Wi-Fi in different locations, that could help. Supposedly, I didn't actually try that, so I don't know. I don't even know what's available out there anymore for VPNs for phones. If you have to pay for them or not. It's been a while since I've used one. But that's another option. In other words, just dink around with it. Try everything you can. If you need help, you're more than, capable of contacting me. I will try my best to help you go through your phone settings and things like that. And you'll need to private message me, though. I'm not going to do it in the comments on YouTube. So I prefer to be contacted through Facebook. You can contact me through Discord if that's what you have. But Facebook is easier for me because I get bubble that pops up on my phone, and then I don't have to close my game and what I'm doing, whereas Discord, I have to completely close my game. So, if you're contacting me through Discord, it will take me way longer to get back to you guys, and yeah. So, that's it for technical issues at the moment, aside from one more thing that I have to say, and that is about the friends list. It seems as though the friends list has been acting up again, so don't be surprised if you lose your friends list if you log in and out of Facebook. You know, I don't know. I assume SimCity is aware of it. Don't know, but if you have any technical issues that you'd like to share that you've dealt with or currently dealing with, or that you fixed, please put it in the comments section. Let me know what it is, if you're currently dealing with it, if you were able to fix it, you know, and if you were able to fix it, how did you fix it? And just share, you know, whatever it is that you dealt with. Okay, because it might help somebody else figure out what's going on with their stuff. Good luck to you guys, and that's it. So, like, subscribe, comment, share, all that good stuff.